Welcome in, guys. Today we're going to be talking about solving your problems and figuring out what to do and where to go. Whether it's trying to choose where to go to school at, where to get a job, if somebody should be your friend or not. There are all sorts of issues. Everybody's got their own set of issues. A lot of people are addicted to certain things, whether that be alcohol, weed, nicotine, porn. There are a lot of things you can be addicted to. And through my 20 years on Earth, I know, very short, but I think I've got some advice, and I think I've learned something. We were all exposed to it as young kids, probably in middle school, but the solution to a lot of our problems, in fact, is the scientific method. When we were in middle school or elementary or high school learning this, we didn't realize how applicable it was to our everyday problems in our world. But it's actually very useful when you're trying to fix a problem in your life. So to show you that it's very applicable to everyday things, let's take a big issue. Choosing if somebody should be your friend or not. The first thing we're going to do is observe a problem. We're going to decide if somebody should be our friend or not. So let's set up an experiment now. You ask your friend to lunch. You hypothesize that they will show up on time and they will probably pay for their food or whatever you plan to do. And whatever you hypothesize, you need to set that as a standard. So as we move forward, you actually do the experiment. You go to lunch, and then you need to record your observations, and you need to be very observant of how they're acting towards you. Once the experiment is finished, you can gather your data and write your results. You can decide, did they meet my hypothesis? And from there, you can draw a conclusion. Should they be my friend or not? And I should mention, you should run this experiment often, not once, because scientists do not run one experiment and then prove their data. They run it many times. So with every encounter you have with this friend, you need to make a hypothesis. Are they going to meet the hypothesis? And are they going to prove to me that they are a good friend? Let's do another example, and we'll do addiction. We'll do nicotine addiction. Let's say you vape. You need to observe that there's a problem first, and then you need to hypothesize. And this hypothesis is going to be more of a goal. So let's say you make a hypothesis that you will not vape all day. So you run your experiment, you live through the day, and then when you consider your results, you see if you vaped or not. And if you did, how many times? Was it bad? Was there a certain part of the day where you were really, really needing it? And once you've looked back at your results and you've seen what you did good and what you did bad, you need to make a conclusion. And like I previously said, scientists do not run experiments once, they run them many times. So your first experiment might not have gone well. You might have vaped a few times. You might have given into that addiction. But I think a lot of people get demotivated because they run these experiments once and their hypothesis isn't true. So they think, oh, I'm doomed. I have no chance. But that's not true. And in fact, scientists run their experiments tens of hundreds of times just to get that one piece of proof. And that's what you need to practice. You need to do that if you want to beat these things in your life. So yeah, that scientific method you learned in middle school is actually very helpful in your everyday life, and you just don't really realize it yet. But I hope this video does help you guys.